Hello and good morning. It's December 17th, 2024. I'm doing my monthly podcast a week early because holiday, Christmas is next week. And let's dive right into it. So I want to talk about some stuff here. One is the interest rate. Another one, I just talked to a big time developer in Los Angeles who told me that he thinks foreclosures are coming next year. Now, I totally disagree with him. I mean, I respect his opinion. Nobody knows for sure, but I just don't see the data that would support that because a lot of homeowners have more equity in their homes than in a long, long time. I wouldn't say ever, but in a long, long time. So let's dive in right now and look at some screenshots here that I prepared for you. So number one, first of all, the timing in the market is basically impossible, right? If it's a good time for you to buy, you have to figure that out. If you're always waiting for the perfect market conditions, you're going to be waiting forever. It just isn't there. Buy now only if it's a good idea for you. And I would agree with that statement, right? Absolutely. Because you may have to move because you need a bigger place or you need to relocate for a job. So it always depends. Of course, everybody wants to buy at a low price and a low interest rate, but that doesn't always happen. Here's what I was mentioning earlier. So homeowners have far more equity than mortgage debt. Like this gentleman's developer is a big time developer in Los Angeles, builds big, big luxury homes. And he believes that some foreclosures coming next year. I just don't see that happening because we have 35.1 trillion in equity in mortgage debt. This is amazing, right? Because compared to here, this is quite a big difference. So the mortgage debt is only 13.2 trillion and the homeowner equity is 35.1 trillion. So I just would not see a reason for people to go into foreclosure. Again, nobody knows for sure, but that's just my opinion. Now, going back to this is an interesting thing too. Starter home availability is growing faster, and we have this over here as well. More starter homes are hitting the market. This is Tuesday, December 17th today. More entry-level homes, also known as starter homes, are popping up on the market. And after several years with very few homes available to buy and prices rising, there are finally some more options for first-time buyers. I can gladly send you this article. I don't want to make this podcast as short as possible because everybody's always busy. I understand that. And also, really quickly before I go any further, I want to let you know that there's two mortgage brokers, and I highly recommend to go with a mortgage broker because they have access to more financing opportunities. Nothing against banks, but one lender may just be limited to one. And I'll show you an example in a minute here because a great mortgage broker, such as, Ron Glasser, who I worked with, or Kat Whitman, who did my mortgage for my property. Those two people are just amazing. Really, they go way beyond. They just have your best interest at heart. Let's put it that way, right? So let me just look at real quick. I'll show you really quick what I mean by that. Because if you, for example, go into the federal interest rate, right, which is currently 4.75. Now, tomorrow, December 18th, the Feds have announced another quarter point interest rate. And I think it's pretty much done. I think it's going to happen. That would bring this down to 4.5%, right? This is the federal interest rate. This is not to be confused with the mortgage rate because some people get that confused. They don't move in unison, but they are connected. Now, let's look at today's rates. Today's rates, let me just refresh this to make sure we're up to date. Today's rates for a 30-year fixed is 6.93. However, if you look over here to my friend over here, Mac Mortgage, Ron Glasser, for example, he can do 6.558 for conventional 30-year fixed. Now, 6.558 compared to 6.93, that's almost half a point. This would be hundreds of dollars difference per month in your mortgage. It could even be 1,000. Who knows? It depends on your mortgage, obviously. But I think the jumbos are fixed at 700,000 or 800,000 somewhere in California. That would be a jumbo loan. So anything higher than 800, I think it's 72,000. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Would be a jumbo, right? But anything below that would be conventional. Now, let's look at active in inventory and projected inventory for 2025. This is interesting. So at the moment, we are about here, which would be 690, I would say, somewhere around there, 690,000. Projected is this because see what happened was since there was less buyer activity in 2024, the trickle in inventory that came in slowly still fills up the pool, right? And this is very important because that gets us to a whole different inventory level, which is right here. The current inventory level is 690,015. Now, this is single family residences only. This does not include townhouses and condominiums. This figure here includes all of it. So 1.37 million for October 2024. This is interesting because, in my opinion, if this would be at 1.6, 1.7, even 2 million, this would be an amazingly healthy market. There would be enormous supply. There might even prices might stabilize. Prices have not increased as much in 2024 as they have before in 2023 and 2022 for sure, but they have gone up slightly, right? So this is including townhouses, condominiums, single-family residences. Let's have a look here. The sale to list price ratio is also strong, which is great news because that means the sale to list price is 93.9%. So only 6.1% had to adjust their pricing in order to sell the houses, which is also good. That means price reductions have come down, have stabilized. The forecast. So here is interesting. So 2019, this was before COVID. This was the middle of COVID, and this was the middle of COVID, 2021. And you can see here, this is very unusual. So these are in millions, 6 million. 2019 was 6 million transactions, 6 million houses sold, homes sold. In 2020, 6.5 and 6.9. This is what we call the unicorn years. It has never happened before. During that time, who knew that, you shut down the country, everything is shut down, and people go on a home shopping spree and outbid each other for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, in San Francisco, I heard the highest overpriced was $1 million on a $6 or $7 million house. It was insane, right? People just went crazy. Anyway, this was unusual. So, but we have since then dropped down in transactions to 4.8 and 4.6 even currently this year, right? And they're projecting, National Social Realtors and Fannie Mae and others are projecting that we're coming back to 5.2, which would be healthier back to the levels of 2019. Also, the inventory levels are coming back to that. Let's see, what else do we have? I think we discussed everything we had on here. This was that. Yep. We had this. We had inventory. Yeah, I think this was all I had to say. So basically, here's another thing real quick. Our listing here, this is a listing I have, which is coming on the market on December 28th. We had some delays because of the HOA repair, and the price is probably going to be adjusted. We just got an appraisal done, because I thought it's a little bit on the high side here, and I want to make sure we price it right, but the owner wants to make sure, so we're getting an appraisal. It should be coming out next week, the results. So that's going to be live. This is going to be great. I believe this is going to sell really quickly because it's really an amazing area. It's in Brentwood. It's right on the corner of San Vicente and Barrington. You can literally walk to shops, stores, restaurant, the Baltair restaurant, very nice restaurant, just in walking distance, literally across the way, the back alley from that particular property. Another good news is we have a commercial property that is going under contract this week at 155, and this has been on the market for a while. Again, I mentioned earlier, the commercial market has been hit hard. The commercial market has definitely had its challenges, because people working from home, office buildings vacating. I've seen on a road trip a month ago, a lot of malls, a lot of businesses boarded up in little mini malls. So definitely commercial market is hit hard. The residential market is a little bit better, but anyway, definitely I think it's showing signs of improvement, because also one of the big things I think that people were waiting for was that the election is over, right? Because no matter which side you're affiliated with, people just didn't know which direction this would go. And I think now that the dust is settling from that, I think investors coming forward and starting to look at properties again. I get a lot of text messages from investors looking for fixers, lately. So they're definitely looking to increase their sales volume. Anyway, thank you so much for. If you have any questions, by the way, please call the number on the bottom for a free evaluation for your home. And other than that, I want to thank you for watching, taking the time to watch this, and also wishing you and your family a very safe and happy holiday season. And I'll see you again next year.